Hi guys, welcome back to Suzanne Elizabeth's Kitchen, and today we're going to make a basic no-knead bread, and I'm going to discuss a very valuable lesson I learned about changing my mind. Okay, so yesterday I posted a picture of some quartered tomatoes, and I decided to roast them in the oven, and so that I could have these nice little sun-dried, or actually oven-dried, tomatoes. And I was going to put it in the bread, and then, I don't know, today I just thought, I don't really feel like tomato dried bread. I just feel like plain bread. And so, that's my valuable lesson for today. You are allowed to change your mind. You're cooking. Do what you want. So, that's what we're going to do right now. This is the very easy, no-knead method of baking bread, and I love it because it's basically foolproof. It's made famous by Jim Leahy, and if you've never heard of him, Google him. And he's a genius, a bread baking genius as far as I'm concerned. Three cups of flour. I use bread flour. 3 cups of bread flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, and he calls for a 1/4 teaspoon of dried yeast. And that's simply, you know, these little, little packets of yeast. But what I have found, because my house is here at 11,000 feet above sea level, yes, that's true, here in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado, I found that I need to use more yeast. So that's what I actually have an entire package of yeast in there. So that's what's in here, my flour, my salt, and my dried yeast. And now you add 1.5 cups of water. And what I like to do, and I actually added a little bit more than 1.5 cups into here, and it's just a little warm, And I like to add it and then stir it and get a feel for the dough. And, you know, that's really the joy of baking, is that you do learn what the dough feels like. And I have found, I did an experiment once where I used, I was using another recipe, and I used exactly the amount of water that the recipe called for. And it felt dry to me, so I did another batch at the same time where I used my hands. And that batch that actually used more water than the recipe called for turned out much better. The other batch that just went according to the recipe was too dry, and I didn't get a nice rise out of it. So here's my bread, my dough. I want this to be kind of sticky and wet and not too dry, because I think that a little bit extra moisture does help it to rise. And so that's it. Literally, that's it. There's no kneading. That's why it's called no-knead bread. And now and see, I still have a little bit of water left. And then you're going to cover this with plastic or with just a towel and let it rise 12 to 18 hours. And you want this to double in size. And then what you're going to do is take it out and kind of flatten it out into a rectangle, and then fold it over into thirds, and then shape it like a boule, which means just a round, beautiful round loaf. Let it rise again for 2 hours. Bake it at 450 degrees in a covered Dutch oven for 30 to 35 minutes. I found 35 minutes works best for me. Then take the cover off and let it go for another 15 to 20 minutes. You want a nice dark crust. And that's it. You're going to end up, it's literally foolproof. Anybody can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. So, change your mind. Feel free to change your mind. Feel free to go with what you want from one day to the next when you're cooking. Enjoy cooking. That's the most important lesson. And try some no-knead bread. you'll love it, and your family will too. All right? See you again at Suzanne Elizabeth's Kitchen. God bless you. Bye.